Hey there, welcome to the channel. This is Cafenicus, and today we'll be taking a look at the new game mode in World of Warships, Convoy. This is a Tier 8 only game mode recently introduced to WoWs for its 6th anniversary event, and it pits players in a 7v7 scenario, where one team defends a convoy of 4 Liberty transport ships, while the other team tries to take them out. Seeing as this is a Tier 8 only game mode, I took the old Benson, our trusty American destroyer, out for a spin. Now, I won't really be going into the details about the Benson this time around, other than to say that it's a great hybrid or generalist destroyer. It's not really the best in anything. It doesn't have the best guns, nor the hardest hitting torpedoes, nor the best concealment, nor speed, and so on. But it doesn't have any glaring weaknesses either. It just does everything reasonably well. And of course, it does have the excellent American smokescreen, so that's a nice bonus. Anyway, let's talk more about the game mode itself. We're on the attacking team this time, and that role is randomly assigned when you get into a game. You also saw when the game began that the convoy ships, our primary targets, popped up on the map for just a moment. Those transport ships will follow the predetermined path indicated by a red squiggly line on the minimap to its goal, which is flagged with an anchor icon. The defending team must ensure that at least one transport ship reaches its goal, while the attacking team has to make sure that none of them make it there. Alternatively, you can also kill everyone on the opposing team, but I prefer destroying the transport ships as that's just a lot easier. It also avoids the trouble of hunting down some sneaky destroyer who decides to run for the corners, for example. As a destroyer, my priority in this game is to get to a good ambush location, all the while providing some vision for my team. And for me, this is the island that's right dab in the middle of the map. Oh, also, I apologize for the weird behavior of the crosshair when I have my torpedoes selected. I'm not really sure what's going on there, so I'll have to look into it. We get some vision up on the enemy team here, but nothing on the transports just yet. The transports feel really sneaky, to be honest. I haven't really paid attention to their detection radius, but I assume it's something like a stealthy cruiser, so I'm thinking about 9 to 10 kilometers. My team is firing on the enemy escorts, so I'm just going to try to get forward a little bit more to see if I can spot the transport ships. And they're not all helpless ships either. Those transports can maneuver and put up smoke screens, so don't expect them to behave like the dumb bots in co-op mode that just waltz straight into your torpedoes. There we go, our first sighting of the enemy Liberty ship at just under 10 kilometers. It helps that they travel in alphabetical order, so you can tell if you're targeting the first or the last ship in line. The Benson has a 9.2 kilometer torpedo range, so I want to get a bit closer before letting loose with my fishes along the path of the convoy. I do have to make sure that I don't get up close and personal with this Atago though, as he will make me regret my life choices. I keep the Atago out of my 5.8 kilometer detection radius and launch my fish at the transports. And that's when the enemy Akizuki pops up. If you thought the Atago was bad, going up against an Atago and an Aki is even worse. So I pop my smoke screen and start to duck out the destroyer. I'm the only one spotting the Aki though, so he promptly disappears from vision once my smoke is up. But the Atago has fired and will be lit for a little while. So I take some shots at him and the other escort ships while waiting to see if my fish get a bite. I'm looking at my torpedoes here and I'm pretty sure they're on point for the first transport. So let's see if we can get a kill. We see another transport ship in the back, so we take a few shots at it as well. Unfortunately though, a pesky Tirpitz has done the "Get down Mr. President" move and jumps in front of my torpedoes to save a Liberty ship. Well, that's fine. He eats a bunch of damage and gets a nice little achievement for it, but it looks like he's not long for this game. I'm going to focus on that Tirpitz for a bit here. If I can get a fire on him, he's pretty much toast now that he's DCP'd my flooding. The guns on the Benson are quick firing, and we do light a fire on that Tirpitz, as we had hoped. None of the other transports are lit, so I'm just going to keep firing at the Tirpitz's superstructure to finish him off. We aim high to make sure we get penetration damage on that battleship. Oh, and we even light another fire. But the other transports are visible now, so we go back and focus on them instead. The Tirpitz should burn down soon anyway. As you can see, those sneaky transports have laid down a smoke screen to cover their advance, so it's not like they're completely sitting ducks. I'm pretty much in their face here though, so I'm letting loose with my guns while my torpedoes are reloading. These are 2x5 torpedoes, so they do take a while to reload. But in the meantime, the Tirpitz has succumbed to our roasting for our first kill. The first transport is at low health as well, so I finish it off. I've also launched a set of torpedoes into the smoke to see if I can catch any of the following transports. This little island was serving me well to block torpedoes coming my way, but that works both ways and forces me to launch torpedoes further back than I would have liked. There's also just a small hillock here that keeps eating my shells unfortunately, so I guess it's time to push around the island and hit off the transports. The second transport goes down, and with the positioning of my team, it looks like we have this in the bag. We have a couple of ships blocking off the goal line, and others stopping the transports from pushing past this huge island. I get a torpedo hit on something in the smoke. I'm pretty sure that was the last transport in line, so it will be pretty banged up once it clears the smoke screen. Our Bismarck is charging in, and with its secondary guns, it can certainly put out the hurt. So I'll just follow it in and finish up the remaining transport ships. We get the radar achievement for sinking 2 transports in a single game, and there's a last one, so we focus fire on it, and with the help of our friends, we're able to knock out the last transport ship to win the game. So, let's take a look at the post-game results. We did 106,000 damage in this game. Not bad considering it was only 7 minutes long. You can see the radar achievement I mentioned earlier. This is one of the special achievements that's specific for the Convoy game mode, and that's for taking down 2 transport ships in a single game. Our base XP of 1781 was top of our team, and the XP gain for playing the Convoy game mode isn't bad at all. We hit a total of 8 ships and sunk 3. You can also see that I damaged all 4 of the transport ships, so if you're on the attacking side, definitely try to focus down the transports as soon as they're lit. And finally, our credits screen. Looks like we picked up about the same amount of credits as we would have in a random game. I know I didn't really go into the ins and outs of the Benson this time around like I usually would, but for anyone interested, here are the equipment and captain skills I use for the ship. Main armaments mod 1, engine room protection, torpedo tubes mod 1 because your torpedoes are effectively sea mines and could use the speed upgrade, propulsion, and concealment. I also use speed boost instead of defensive AA because, well, I don't think defensive AA is going to save you from a carrier strike anyway. For captain skills, I have preventative maintenance, demolition expert, priority target, last stand, survivability expert, adrenaline rush, and concealment expertise. I'm not sure what I would pick up with my last 4 points to be honest, because I don't really play the Benson now that I finished the grind for it. Maybe Swift Fish and consumable enhancement, or radio location, or maybe fill the tubes and a 1-pointer. Let me know what you all think in the comments below if you have a preference. Anyway, the Convoy game mode. I like the fact that it adds something fresh to the game. You can pick up a bunch of community tokens right now as well along with the missions, so that's a big plus. In addition, it's also much quicker than randoms as there's a 15-minute limit on game time, and in this case, it didn't even last half that long. I do feel that the attacking team has it easier to win, as defending the convoy requires a bit more coordination and awareness from your team to keep the enemies away from your transport ships, smoking them up and all that jazz. When you're attacking, it feels more like a random battle. Just shoot stuff, sink stuff, and you're done. It's a pity that it's only available at Tier 8 though. But if you have a bunch of festive tokens to pick up on your Tier 8 ships, this is definitely a good alternative to playing a bunch of co-op games. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe and like buttons below as it helps me grow the channel. You can also click the bell to get notifications the next time I post videos. Thank you for watching and take care.